Patrick, obviously the AFC West is all taken care of, and now I assume you just set your sights to where you're perched for the playoffs. You can't look at it as got to get the number 1 seed or bust. On the other hand, create incentive for the number 1 seed. How do you process that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is you just focus on getting better as a team. You want to be playing your best football going into the playoffs, and we have stuff that we have to clean up as far as turnovers on the offense and stuff like that. And so us focusing on ourselves and getting better and playing our best football, we want to just continue to build as a team and stack wins, and so that'll be important this week.
And Andy thought that you were specifically a good example of being able to go from 1 week to the next after the 3 interceptions the week before. How much do you feel like you specifically focused on cleaning that up last week?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I looked at the tape of the Denver game, there was just a lot of easy completions that I didn't take, and I was trying to be aggressive, and it worked sometimes, but obviously hurt us sometimes. And so just went back to the fundamentals of taking what's there. When the stuff's underneath there, give it to the guys, let them make plays, and we were able to have success. So if I can just connect on those deep throws, I missed 2 of them in that game, then we'll kind of have the best of both worlds. So I'll just continue to try to work on that stuff.
And Patrick, the 2-point conversion ended up being pretty important in the shovel passes. Can you just walk us through your part of that and kind of what you're seeing?
Yeah, well, it kind of gives me an option to do 2 different things. Obviously, it gives me an option to scramble out, and we had Travis kind of on that little route, but he took so many people with him. And I saw that defense end just get enough upfield, and I wasn't enough room for me to do the underhand shovel, so I just had to find a way to get it to Jarek, and he was able to make a tough catch in traffic and get in the end zone.
What have you seen from Geno this year that's allowed him to be so successful in Seattle?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I mean, every throw he throws is like a perfect spiral. And, I mean, I know that gets taken for granted in this league, but, I mean, he throws a perfect spiral on every throw. He's getting those receivers going. They have 2 great receivers with a lot of other guys, too, that have a lot of speed. And so he's able to get those receivers going and move and take the shots from there, but take underneath. And they've had a lot of young guys step up. And so Geno's done a great job of taking advantage of what's there, and that's why he's had such a great season.
What have you made of the emergence of McKinnon at the age of 30, and what does it mean to you both as a pass protector and what he can do for you guys with the ball in his hands?
Yeah, he's just a true professional. He does everything the right way when he's in the building. He's taking care of his body every single day, and he does everything, like I said, he does everything the right way. So he protects well, he runs routes well, he runs the ball well. And so we can have him in there and trust that he's going to know exactly the protection assignment, where to be at on time. And whenever we give him the runs, he's gonna make plays happen. And so he's a great player, but even a better dude. And I think that's why everybody loves having him on the team.
What's Seattle's defense have for you guys on Saturday?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is they have a lot of talented young players. I mean, first of all, they have the linebacker 56 from Texas Tech. I'm just saying, he's like leading the league in tackles. So he's a great player to have in the middle there. And then they have the young corner also from Texas that is leading the league in interceptions. So they got a lot of young, talented players that play very hard. I mean, Coach Carroll, every one of his teams is going to play extremely hard, and they're fighting for a playoff spot. So they're going to be a great challenge for us to go out there and try to find a way to get a win.
It looks like, I mean, you guys were playing in Texas last week. They only had 1 win. They were fighting all the way through. We're to that point of the year where some people are eliminated, but they're still really fighting. Have you seen, is it different this year than it's ever been in your career, how people aren't just giving up? It seems like there's a lot of really competitive games, at least last week.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think especially if you look around the league, I think almost everybody's still in it. It still has a chance, and so everybody's playing hard to try to do whatever they can to get it to the playoffs. And then when you play teams like the Texans, they have a lot of young dudes that are trying to prove their spot in this league, as well as some veterans that are vets and know how to do it the right way. And so I think it just goes through how the teams are coached, the type of players that they have, and the Texans played hard, and I know this week the Seahawks will.
It seems like it's going to be cold Saturday. Any changes for you?
No, I'll throw that little neck warmer thing that I always throw on. That doesn't look great, but it keeps my neck warm. But yeah, I'm not a big throw a glove on guy or anything like that. So that's about it. We'll go out there and play. It's still football at the end of the day.
It seems like at this stage you're really comfortable working the pocket when the protection's good, and even on plays when it could be better. Where do you feel like your knack is with the offensive line right now?
Yeah, I think they're doing a great job. I mean, I think early in the game last week they had a few mishaps here and there, and they took it upon themselves. And other than that, they protected great the entire game. And when we're able to run the ball like we did, especially in that second half, it opens up everything else. And I think that's why we had so much success in the second half, moving the ball up and down the field. So now it's just executing and trying to get into field goal range or get into the end zone. And I think the offensive line's getting better and better each and every game.
Patrick, looks like McColl's going to be back on Saturday. What are your expectations for him, given he's missed so much time now?
Yeah, I mean, he's been ready to go, man. He's been trying to get back as quickly as possible. He still has that great energy that he has in the locker room, and we'll get him in there. We'll get him in there, hopefully, if everything goes well this week, and let him kind of get back into the role that he was in. But we have a lot of guys that are going to be shuffling in and out, and Coach Reed let those guys know that everybody's going to get a chance to play and go out there and put their stamp on the game, and I think everybody's excited for it.
Patrick, the overwhelming number of decisions you make are successful over all these years, but you still sort of talk about having to find that line. Why is that? Is it because you want to be able to push the envelope all the time and just have to
Yeah, I mean,
really think about it?
Yeah, I want to always have that aggressiveness to me. I think that's what's got me here. That's who I am. But just finding that spot where you can be aggressive but still take what's underneath, and that's something that I'll continue to work on to get better and better at. And it's week to week. It's not just a one season versus another. You have to make sure you look at the tape, see if you were aggressive enough or not, and then make that decision from there and try to come back with that same mentality the next week.
And you feel like actually you have to kind of always be going through that to feel like you're staying on the razor's edge. Like you better be feeling like you're pushing it. Is that kind of?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I always want to be just pushing it to where it's just right at the edge, and I think that's something that that's who I am. It gives guys chances to make plays, and I think that's what I think we're coached that way. Is Coach Reed wants us to go out there and push it to the right limit, and then just don't go past it.
One of the tough things for running backs, young running backs especially, is the pass protection part of it. You know, you got to want to do it, but then you got to know where to go. Like maybe Isaiah had a mistake or two early in the game. How much help can you provide him if you're back there in shotgun, just reminding him some of the protections and things, and how is he taking to learning on the job?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a thing where he knew where he was supposed to be on that protection. The linebacker did one of those like we call it rush to cover, where he's really kind of guarding Isaiah in man coverage, but he just rushes to try to keep him inside. And it's a dangerous game because you want him to protect that guy, but if he releases and I'm throwing him the ball, then there's no one covering him. So we just have to be on the same page in that sense. But he's done a great job of it all year, and all the running backs have. And we have I would say a pretty complicated system of protections, and they do a great job of being in the right spot when they need to be. And that's a credit to G. Lou. It's a credit to Coach Heck, G. Lewis and Coach Lewis, and all those guys of making sure those guys are in the right spot, protecting, but at the same time getting out when they need to get out.
Is it harder to get guys to lock in when it's Christmas week, a lot of family stuff, you got a short week playing on Saturday? Is it harder to get people to focus in?
I think it can be, but I think we got the luck of the schedule where we're playing Saturday morning, Christmas Eve. So hopefully you go out there and try to win the game, and then you can have all the family in town. Coach Reed will give us Sunday off, Christmas Day off. So the schedule worked out perfect for us to go out there, have some fun on Christmas Eve, try to get a win, and then have Christmas Eve and Christmas Day off.
Okay, thanks, Patrick.
Thanks.